Welcome to another episode of the vlog. This is a very special vlog where we head on a family holiday. Me, my wife, the kids and my in-laws head to Disneyland in Paris. We then venture for a day into Paris to see the Eiffel Tower and all the sights before eventually heading to Croix Du Vieux Pont, a campsite in the Berny Riviere area of France. Within this week's fishing, family fun and general relaxation, we try to see some sights, try some local food and also venture in for a bit of fishing. Sit back, relax and enjoy this episode of the vlog, and hopefully you'll pick up a tip or two if you fancy a trip away with your family to a camping style holiday, especially if you head to Croix Du Vieux Pont. Well, we're back in France. Not the start that I'd hoped for in terms of the weather. I'm sitting here under a sun parasol with very limited kit. We flew in with just a rod bag and some basic bits of terminal tackle here on a family holiday just outside, about 50 miles outside of Paris. So you have to get the rods out when you're given the opportunity. So happy days. Let's take a wee look at the swim and what's happening in this absolutely pathetic weather for July / the start of August tomorrow. Right, well, just as I come out of the brolly, it sort of makes a liar out of me, but you can see it's still raining. 2 rod rule here, so there's the 2 rods unless you pay for more. 2 of the C Series 10-foot little compact rods, SMX alarms. I've got a 42-inch landing net there. I've got a very basic unhooking mat under there with a sling, and then there's where I'm sitting in this absolutely torrential rain. This is the bottom lake, so as you can see, this is the one without the pedalos. I think they run to about 30 odd pound in here, and then there's one little lake in between us. There's one for swimming, which is just a kiddie sort of thing, and then at the very top there's another lake as well. But here we go. I've had 2 bites already, up to about, see that crash out, absolutely massive. I've had 2 fish already, up to about 15 pound. Everywhere I've fished around the world, the fish are lively, but this place is just, it absolutely takes the biscuit. I have another common here around about, what, mid doubles, and again another one of these lovely pristine commons. There he is, mid double, a lot of croaking and a lot of flexing, probably a very young angry male. Lovely fish though. As you can see, absolutely picturesque, beautiful, apart from the weather. But we're here for the week and let's see what happens. I'll be keeping you posted every day. This is the Monday, the day we've arrived. Literally just unpacked, and I ran down, abandoned the kids with the in-laws and put the rods out as you do. So let's see what happens. Well, as you can hear from the noise behind me, it's not that quiet, to be honest. After that common around about high 20s, early 30s, I've had a mirror, probably about what, £12 or something like that. A guy was on scene helping with a photograph and kind of wanted to be helpful, so I didn't want to video that or get him sort of involved in something. But the pedalos are out in force after a drop of rain, so we're backlighted right under the rod tips, and the rods are back out. Just fishing little mesh PVA bags with pellet over dispersion pineapple wafter. So we'll see what that brings, but you can see the two rods there behind me as the pedalos go out. But as things happen, I shall keep you informed. This is a Wrigley fella. Fish number 6 of the trip, another good size, maybe upper double, maybe even a 20-pounder. Fantastic. Let's get it back. Happy days. Back on phone cam this morning just for a quick update. After those fish last night, that last mirror I had, I reeled in to take the kids swimming and have a bit of dinner and spend some time with the family. This morning I've got up about 6 o'clock, been down here for about 6:30. You're not, strictly speaking, supposed to be fishing till 8 o'clock, but I met some guys yesterday who had been fishing the last couple of years from about 6 a.m. and said they've never had any bother. So I thought I'd stealthily come down. It's pouring rain. I'm beneath an apple tree and my stuff's down there, and then the rods are just over there out on the drink. So we'll see what happens this morning. Hopefully I have something to show for my efforts, but I'm literally probably going to fish just up to about breakfast time and not rip the backside out of it this morning. Maybe do a few bits and pieces with everybody and then head fishing this afternoon. The weather's to be pretty grim, so it may be a case that the kids are wanting to do some indoor activities. This is not really like the usual weather. A guy that's fished here for 6 years said, you know, this is just freak. They've had the odd rainy day, but usually it's in the mid to high 20s. And in actual fact, last year when it was scorching, the fishing was actually slightly better. So I'm not complaining in terms of the moggy weather because it's good for the angling, but we're here, we're out. Let's see what happens this morning. There we go, the first one in the morning. Just a lovely little double to kick things off. Absolutely screaming run after the rod, only being out 5 minutes. Spawned a micro spawn or two of corn over the spot, little mesh PVA bag of pellet, and a carper pineapple dispersion wafter. Happy days, let's get it back. I don't know who's wetter, me or the fish. Well, how's about that in the session? Probably a 20-pound common. Lovely. It's a pity not having any scales, but when they're not a PB it doesn't really matter. But a beautiful fish from this lovely venue. Absolutely made up in this awful weather. Let's get him back. Well, they're not getting any bigger this morning. But look at this absolutely stunning little common. Beautiful. About a pound, pound and a half. Really nice to see. Well, here we are this morning on the other lake. I've been out since about 8 a.m. just very chilled. Had 2 takes already, a double take in fact. I just literally started reeling the first fish in and the second rod went, so it was carnage. Here's one of the 2 from a double take. Nice one, about 10-pound common. And then one about half the size, a lively wee fella. Lovely to see, good times. Well, I'm under my big umbrella and I'll show you in a wee second. I've had a move over onto the other lake. I was getting lifted and dropped on that other lake and it seemed like the fish were tiny, so I've moved back over to the place I know best. I've dropped both of the back leads, the only 2 back leads that I've had, but lucky it seems to be a day that there's no pedalos out at all or yet, so hopefully I should be okay. Yeah, there's a couple of French guys next to me, kids, like, you know, early teenagers, and they didn't have a net, but they have an unhooking mat, so I was round sorting them out and keeping them right. But it's just nice to offer a wee bit of support and guidance to the other people getting into the sport, regardless of what nationality they are. But I'll give you a wee tour of the swim here. So as you can see, polar opposite. I was over there yesterday, and today I'm on the other side of the lake fishing about a third of the way across. Well, here's the scene, Friday morning. Out again, it's about 7 o'clock. I nipped down here an hour or so earlier. The rods are out. Other people are fishing the far side just as I've arrived as well. As I say, you're not really supposed to 8 AM, but a guy from here said to me, as long as you're quiet, you're not doing any harm, putting them out an hour or so early is fine, so that's what we've done. Similar tactics back on the boating lake, as you can see, and just hoping to scratch for a couple of bites. I had those 3 fish yesterday, I think it was 3, yeah, the 2 commons in the other lake and then the common here, and then I had to head down to the pharmacy and the doctors. Same thing that happened to me in Limoges when I was fishing exactly 3 weeks ago. I got bit by something, my leg swole up several times bigger than its size. Pharmacy wouldn't help, sent me straight to the GP. I'm back on another antibiotic and they think something else is further wrong, so one of those things. And then I get it in the ear from the missus, maybe coming to France and fishing isn't for you, maybe you should sell the stuff and give it up. Likewise, more chance of a divorce. But yeah, here we are. Hopefully get a few hours in and then spend a bit of time with the kids so I'm not getting in any bother. But there's the scene. Beautiful, beautiful morning. I'll keep you posted on what happens. That hasn't taken long this morning. The rod's only been out 2-3 minutes and it's away with this lovely double common. Happy days. Really made up with this trip, and just the same old tactics, those dispersion wafters over a mesh bag of pellet and crushed boilie. So let's get him back. Rod was only back a matter of seconds and it's went off with this lovely dark little common. Absolutely beautiful, stunning fish. Let's get him back. Fish number 3 of the morning, another take after the rod being out another 5 or 10 minutes. 3 fish in about half an hour, 25 minutes. You couldn't beat it. Happy days. Let's get him back. Well, an hour's passed sort of from the last sort of update and nothing to report. I've had a couple of liners, a wee drop run, probably something small, or a bream. I'm changing tactics. There's a fair few anglers on the lake. I've only fished one wafter, which is the dispersion ones, which has worked quite well. I'm still fishing those on one rod, but then I'm moving it over to the ever faithful Ronnie rig on the other rod. It's just a bit of fluorocarbon jawed from Prologic 0.53 down to a size 4 hook and a 12mm Nash Scopex squid pop-up in pink, so we'll see what that does. And on the other rod, like I said, I'm fishing that dispersion, but I'll let you have a wee look at the lake. You can probably see there's several people on the other side.
You're not selling it.
Right, well here's the advancement. A little micro spawn. And I'm literally clipping that on to the quick link swivel on the rod. Just at a beep. I'm literally clicking that onto the quick link on the rod and putting 2 of those out over the spot, and then attaching one of these bad boys to the multi-rig. IB hand sharpened hooks, and that's practically it. There are boats everywhere. It's been fairly slow this afternoon. I've just did a little recast and I've had a couple of single beeps. Little skiff of rain. Pedalos have went back in, but I'm assuming now that the rain stopped, the revelers are going to be back out on the pedalos in no time. But still confident that something is going to occur. Look at Mummy. Look at Mummy. Look at Mummy.
It's alright, he's looking at the fish.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
He's doing in the water. He's doing the water.
Well, back out on the top lake, as I'm going to call it, the one without the pedalos and boats. I just sort of thought, because I'd seen some nice photographs on the Facebook group of the angling people for the lake, I thought I'd go and give it a shot. There are some nicer fish to go at that I'd seen, a couple of nice mirrors as well. It's one of those things, I've had the rods out a wee while. I've had one common there, about 8-9 pound. He'd sustained a bit of an injury previously, so I just thought I'm not even going to bother photographing it or videoing it. I'll just get him quickly slipped back in, and it's only a small fish, but that's the first one of the morning anyway. The rods are out. There was feeding fish when I arrived down here, so I flicked 2 rigs out towards them, and hoping for the best. I might shortly run back up to the caravan and get a tin of sweet corn and come back down and possibly spot a bit of bait over 2 spots, clip up to it and give that a go. But I'll just wait to see if I'm able to nick another bite here before I start to debate a spot. But I'll keep you posted on the morning. It's a lovely morning, no rain as of yet, which is a real bonus for this place this week. I'm hoping it's a nice day, we can get a bit of a suntan and a few fish on the bank, but here's hoping. Well, guess who's moved again? Yes, you can guess it. It just wasn't the one round there. It just didn't feel right. I don't know why, whether it's the amount of fish I've had round here, but the rods are only back out, and I was clipping the bobbin onto the right hand rod and it took off, and I had a lovely grass carp, the most docile grass carp I've ever caught. It fought well under the rod tip, as they do when they come in and see the net. When I got it up onto the bank, there was a big crowd about. Again, I didn't put the video on because there was kids wanting to come over and see it and all sorts, and I was just very wary about what I film of other people's kids. So it was nice to get people involved and seeing the grass carp, but when I lifted him up, no bother at all. He just played ball, and the rods are back out again. At the end of the video, I'm going to give a few top tips for people who are fishing here, so if you are watching it, do stay tuned in for that, because I have found with fishing beside other people left and right of me here, the last couple of days I have ended up getting a few more bites, and I think there's a couple of things that I've done differently at this time of the year anyway, which is helped by some bites. But what I will do is I'll show you just what's sitting out here at the minute for what I'm using. Right, here's a wee look at the table. You might be wondering why the receiver's there. That's because the alarms are set to silent, and when I put the rods back out, I switch the receiver off just to keep everything nice and quiet. I'm keeping 4 mesh bags made up, fairly big bags as well. I have my little IB hooks tub there. This is being spalmed out in the micro spalm along with some crumb of the boilies and pellet if it's going a bit slow. Sometimes it just takes a bag on, and I'm using Scopex squid pop-ups and the dispersion pop-ups, and that's pretty much it. These are Scopex and these are banana cream. I showed those the other day. I bought another bag of Scopex, and those are a tenner here, €10. They're just the pellet that they sell in house. I've used up all their PVA funnel web, so I've had to go and buy more from the kiosk. I think that's the last of it, so if I use that up, I'm going to be spawning. Everything's in that bag. I've got a little tackle bag there, the camera and the unhooking mat, as you've seen before, and that's practically it. Right, come on, get your wee photo. It's okay. Come and sit beside Daddy. Come on, stand beside.
Look at Mummy.
Two mirrors in a row. This is the second one, just after the first one's back. Very similar in size and shape, but different. You can tell there's no wound in the mouth as there was with the previous one. But good morning's action, so let's get him back. Well, you probably can barely hear me due to your man over there strimming the life out of the bank just to get neat and tidy, which is good to see. He came around to try and strim here, and I gave him the evil eye and he took off. I didn't want him strimming around the rods, but from this morning, being on that first lake with that small common, as I say, I just got that back in. There was a bit of damage on it from previous. I then moved over to this lake. I've had those two mirrors and also that grass carp as well, and the rods are back out, and I've had a couple of liners already. So Hopefully there's more to show, but I will keep you posted. I'm back. I thought my angling might be over for the trip, but in the fleeting hours of tonight, I've come out for literally an hour or so just to get rid of the last of the pellet that I have and a few other bits of sweet corn. That's literally it. 10 of the green vert, green giant, and I've still some pellet left that I found. So 2 or 3 micro spalms each of that over a spot, and we're just going to see. I'll maybe rove about a bit and see, can I pick something up, watch for showing fish, feeding fish, and we'll see what we can find. Happy days. Final few hours. Just got the rods back out in a different spot of the lake, and we'll see what's going to happen here. But we're getting picked up at 4 o'clock and it's 12, so maybe 2 or 3 hours more, and hopefully I have something to show. But it's very quiet, and it's the afternoon and it's a sunny day, so we'll see what happens. There's the rods, there's the family. Well, you've probably seen from that footage, you can't keep a good man down. I had to move back up to the spot. Over 2 hours in that other spot, literally what? 150 yards up the bank, 100 yards up the bank and nothing. And then 5 minutes in the old spot and zingo bingo, 1 rod dingo, away we went. And that's pretty much how it's been here. It's about knowing the locations, looking for feeding fish. A bit of watercraft goes a long way, even on these sort of well-stocked, high-pressured venues. If you're thinking of coming to this place, my biggest advice is don't leave the rods out all day. Cast every 20 to 25 minutes. Best thing to do is bring as much PVA mesh as you possibly can. I found bright yellow and pink pop-ups to be the best, or wafters should I say, over a bed of crumb boilie and pellet and corn. Keep it simple. Some people are complicating the life out of it and not doing very well. Keep it simple, keep the recasts coming, look for showing fish, and don't be afraid to fish around about the pedalos. I have found open water to be a lot better than in the margins, and I've also found that there's no distinct time of day for bites. If you want to be really on the ball, fishing starts at 8 o'clock, but I've been told by people at the kiosk, if you're coming down a bit earlier, as long as you're not making any noise or annoying people to do so. So come down at 7 o'clock, get ahead of the crowds, get the rods out, get a bit of bait out, and just enjoy. Don't overfill it in, and that seems to go best. I've found this boating lake to be better than the top lake. The fish have been better sizes and the fishing has been more consistent, and I've just done better and enjoyed the scenery down here more. There may not be another fish of this session. If there is, it's going to be a real bonus one. All the baits out, we're now just fishing single hook baits, just to get rid of the last of that pellet, and we'll see what that does. Thank you for watching the video. And if you have enjoyed it, do hit that like button and do subscribe. There's a lot more hopefully coming your way as the channel gets a bit more active again, and hopefully you'll come here with your family and have a good holiday as well as a peaceful bit of fishing, and you kind of can strike a good balance and enjoy both with some decent fish to be had as well. All right, tight lines.